Can you beat Kingdom Rush Alliance with one tower per level? Now, I already did this for the original Kingdom Rush game, and it was tricky. I also did it for Kingdom Rush Origins, so let's have a stab at this one. We're skipping some of the earlier levels because they're quite good, especially with having double heroes, which is obviously one of the coolest parts of this entire game. So we're starting on this boss. I'm using all of the upgrades that you get at each point of the game, and with our amazing Cannoneers tower, I can obliterate anything. Oh, but guess what? What's happening here? I was experimenting with the rules a little bit and allowing myself to have one tower at a time. Therefore, I could sell one and build it somewhere else. I might be doing that in this challenge or for some harder levels. I really want to avoid it though. I want to just plant one tower and leave it there. So even though I did it for this level, I don't really do it for the rest. It turns out to not really make a difference though. This boss is really easy. Just having Cannoneers through the whole thing in this spot would be very, very simple, especially with these epic dragons. And he goes down. Now, getting on to some harder levels. This is actually my favorite part of the entire campaign. I like this section. Some of the levels are really challenging. This was the first major problem that I ran into. Now, let me give you some context. I lost all of my premium purchases, all of my towers, and all of my good heroes. And I don't want to spend money because then it'll offset the, $5 that I'm going to make from this video. I'm not going to spend $40 on mobile to buy everything again. I reached out to Ironhide and the problem solving did not end up working. So I'm stuck with the only free heroes I have. I did end up a few months ago rebuying like one or two people, but I'm just not going to buy more. So I stick with Kratos, this orange blob fiery hero who's actually one of the best in the series, certainly one of the best in this game. I would say at times, he might actually be the best hero in this game. And then we have Nairu, who is awesome, super mobile, complements his playstyle really well. She has her AoE Vine ability for her heal spell, and it's really just awesome. Kratos is really slow, but his hero ability is like broken. So freaking good and juicy. We make it through. This is one of the things that makes Kingdom Rush games awesome. Charm. Yes, wave design is probably number one for me. The art style is obviously amazing in every single game, but the charm, man. This game has such an insane amount of flying enemies, it's ridiculous. If I had premium towers and premium heroes, things would go a lot better. I even only have Stargazer, probably the best tower in the game. It's so freaking broken. Is unlocked on one of my files, but on the other files, it's locked. And if I unequip it, then it says pay $5 again for this tower. So that's pretty stupid. But this level is really hard. I'm losing on it a lot. I'm going to need some help. I can't do it. I enabled all upgrades. That actually helps kind of a lot. You only have like 2/3 of the upgrades that you're going to get throughout the campaign at this point, and it's not quite enough to get the job done. So my first stab at this boss, we have Kratos, whatever your name is, and Nairu. Like, these guys are awesome. Kratos' hero spell is really just a game changer. You can do it on himself, and then he does massive splash damage everywhere, and does a ton of damage to whatever's right next to him, seemingly. I don't quite know how it works, but it works. In managing this level with our frickin' Cannoneers, they did a fantastic job. I'm still at 13 hearts at this point, and we're just trying to whittle down the boss. If you notice by the footage, I only end up trapping evil, corrupted King Dinas like once, and I send out demon guards because I needed support against the waves as much as possible to not get 0 hearts. So let's move on. Now, this last part of the campaign definitely gets really tricky. These levels have these eyes of the Overseer that heal everything on it, trigger their freaking crazy abilities, the evolving Scourgers. There's a lot of things you got to deal with. We got Summoners, Spawners, these giant Void Blinkers, man. These are like the hardest flying enemies in the game. These and the Flying Crocs, which luckily I don't have to deal with. But this is just getting ridiculous, so I do end up using my beloved Stargazer. And guess what? Victory. This level, I let myself use the bonus tower. I don't think it's necessary at all, but it's definitely fun. I was low-key trying to go for the overachievement, where you insta-kill like 10 or plus enemies with its beam, and that footage is coming up here. Oh, yeah. I didn't get it, but yeah, definitely doable without it. Stargazer is incredible. It's like as good as Tesla is in the first game, almost. It's up there. Victory. Now we're getting to this level, which is my final roadblock. This level is really, really, really hard. I thought that fighting corrupted Dinas was hard. I thought that the second area of the campaign was hard with all the flying enemies and a decent amount of swarms that you get here and there. But this level is swarms plus beefy enemies, plus you're trying to stop all these little alien guys from running into the purple goo, which causes these flesh behemoths to rise out of it and decimate all your defenses. This is really hard. It's hard to determine whether or not Stargazer with teleporting and its awesome DPS is going to be the best here, but this is what you got to deal with. All these little wormies running in, summoning their mamas. It's a problem, a big problem. And not only do I have to deal with that, I have to deal with these summoning eyeball guys up there in the top right. And let's just say things are not going well. Every time one of these flesh behemoths spawns, it's just a guaranteed 5 hearts lost. Maybe I can take out 1 or maybe 2 if they're kind of spread out and I get some good RNG. But the Scourgers have fully evolved. They're flying. They have so much HP. I cannot take them down. We'll try this again. This time I'm doing a little bit better. I had about 5 failed attempts that I'm not showing in this footage at all. And I try using the Cannoneers. And my thought is maybe they do a little bit more damage. I'm not really sure. But I can use them and kind of spam moving around to stall enemies over and over again. And they're really good against flying enemies. And I can rely on their targeting because it's not random like the Stargazers. And at this point, I know that it's checkmate because I just got to take out this behemoth. And then I win because I have enough hearts. Wait a minute, I lost? Okay, I must have been talking about the wrong footage. This is the one, yes, where I finally make it this far. And I can just let a lot of them leak. That guy, whatever, I don't really care. These guys can leak. I only needed to take out the behemoth. And I finally beat it. Congratulations. Now, for the second to last level. This level has always felt like the real final boss to me. I'm using my beloved Cannoneers, my Ladies of Doom. And I place them in the back and playing very defensively. I try to go a little bit offensively with this boss, but my priorities keep switching around because I only have 8 hearts. So if just a few of these little guys get through, like each one of these little wormy green things and these flying guys, like each one of them costs 1 heart. So if 8 of them get through and they're really, really fast, they're easy to slip through, then I'm dead. So yeah, it's hard to micromanage all the things you got. You got a barracks that you need to move around a lot. You got 2 heroes, 2 hero spells. Every now and then the hero spells let you regen them instantly once. And it's definitely a lot. I'm not the best at micro, but ultimately, with enough tries, most things seem to be possible. Look at that. They sniped that guy from across their little ridge. That's pretty cool. This one is cutting it really close. These giant purple flying guys are extremely difficult. Everything seems to be invincible when it's in that purple AoE from the eye of the Overseer. It's redonkulous. There's a lot to deal with over here. And at some points you have to decide, what am I going to do? Play defensively and kill some enemies or go for the boss? I used my Rain of Fire on those purple flying guys, and it seemed like it helped me survive, but then the boss gets so close to decimating my families behind our lines. But then the boss teleports back. So now at this point, I'm just trying to think, like, what do I prioritize? Killing the boss or killing the waves? You have to do both, but sometimes, I mean, if you can really spam a ton of damage on the boss, you don't have to worry about the wave. And that is a lesson that I begin to learn as I poorly micro my allies. Things are getting close though. King Dinas is really, really good. He helps drop this boss's resistances. This boss has dual resistances, so you need to block her so that she loses all of her shielding. And look at this, look how close I got. Get some of that lazy fatso footage. If you don't spawn him in the right spot, he ends up just sitting there and wasting so much time. What an idiot. On this part, I get a double summon of my hero spell, the Rain of Fire from Krakoa. I use one of them to kill the spawners and then one on the boss. I have a lot more hearts this time. I'm using Stargazer. It's really, really good against flying enemies. The shooting star ability is just utterly ridiculous. The teleporting is nice, but not that fantastic. Sometimes it can screw you because you'll drop a Rain of Fire or some other hero spell. And then those enemies, that huge AoE and all that true damage you could have gotten, just got interrupted because they got teleported back. I end up letting a couple of these guys leak because I have so many hearts at this point. Stargazer really seemed to be the better option. And so I'm focusing much more of my stuff on trying to kill the boss. And it's going pretty well. This is a similar situation that I was just in, 2 minutes ago, trying to plant King Dinas in the right spot, trying to deal with all these little teal worms running on through. The splash damage, though, holy crap, Stargazer is insanely powerful. This is probably the best tower in the game. Not really sure if I would call it this one or Cannoneers, but I mean, the amount that I'm getting out of this tower is just ridiculous. I let Krakoa die right there in effort to take out the boss, and it works. Now, after a long grind, this boss wasn't actually that bad, and I ended up staying within my rules and let myself sell and rebuild the tower as it would teleport it around, as that's one of the hardest parts of this boss fight. Overall, not too shabby. So, you can beat Kingdom Rush Alliance with just one tower. Alright guys, thanks for watching, like and subscribe or something. If you have any more challenge ideas, please comment them below. I'll interact with it. I love you. Bye nerds.